Hey everybody, this is Carl here with TriloByte Studios.
And this is Josh.
And today we are going to be talking about the Jurassic World trilogy as it... we really need to start doing face cams. We are doing the Jurassic World trilogy as it be. We're going to be talking a little bit about each movie and then kind of talking about how they stack up as a trilogy.
Well, not only that,
Spoiler alert, it's not very good.
Well, not only that, we probably should say what we like and dislike about it.
Right, okay, so let's just go ahead and jump into it.
Jurassic World 2015.
Right. I liked it.
Oh, I loved the movie.
I think it's a fine movie. It establishes a lot of lore. It sets up I think it's a fun popcorn flick. You know, it's not a great movie, but, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They basically just did Jurassic Park, except bigger, right?
Yeah, basically. They said, hey, you remember what Jurassic Park was? What if it was an actual functioning park?
Yeah, what if it had already opened and all the shit broke loose? So, the first Jurassic World, I don't mind it at all. I mean, I think it's, like I said, I think it's just a bit of a fun popcorn flick.
There's a few character, written. I wish they would kind of did better or explored a little more.
Sure.
But for overall, yeah, I think the movie was absolutely great.
No, I think the movie is good, and, you know, it's a pretty simple story, too. It's basically just kids go to Jurassic World, the event happens with the Indominus escapes, all hell breaks loose, and then the dinosaurs don't need our help, they just need us to leave them alone at the end of the movie. And the T-Rex roars.
Yeah,
and also there's a fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which the fight is pretty bad, I won't lie, the fight is bad. Especially because, you know,
in battle could be better.
Especially when, Blue comes running around the corner, in slow motion.
Or better yet, when the Mosasaurus jumps the guardrail and attacks the Indominus.
Bites down on the Indominus. Yeah, that whole part is just... It's just pretty rough, isn't it? But, I mean, overall, I'd say that one is honestly the best out of all three.
Now, I know this would probably be a different type of discussion, but out of the first film, what was your favorite animal?
Favorite animal from the first film?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
We were introduced to a lot of new species, and not only that, different versions of past species.
I think probably the Mosasaur, because it's just stupidly big. It's the size of a jumbo jet, and I will never let that joke go. But no, I think it's probably the Mosasaur because it is really cool. I mean, it's just cool, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite new species. And plus, there was already a Tylosaurus in Jurassic Park lore in the game that came out.
Yeah, it's soft canon, but
yeah, it's soft canon, but it was still in the lore.
I consider it still a hard canon.
I kind of do too.
Because it was because that story pretty much took place after Alan Grant and all of them got out.
Directly after, between JP1 and JP2.
It was just one extra day on the island.
Yeah, it was literally just an extra day in 1993.
It's why wouldn't you count this as a continuation of the first movie?
Yeah, it's a really good question, isn't it? So what's your favorite animal from the first?
My favorite from the first Jurassic World movie, even though I love Parasaurolophus as an animal, it wasn't actually my favorite in the film.
No?
No, because it was literally just a rehash of the Parasaurus we've seen in the last few films.
Yeah, and basically in The Lost World and in JP3.
Yeah. My favorite animal from the first Jurassic World movie probably would be the Apatosaurus.
Okay, yeah.
Because even though, yes, the Apatosaurus looked outdated, they had the Land Before Time reference.
Also, you know, with oh my god, the animatronic is so bad in that scene too.
It looks so plastic.
It looks like plastic. It looks awful. It just looks like your grandma that's laid out in the hospital, and you're just like, hey grandma, she's just like, are you?
I mean, true.
It looks awful.
But no, I'm saying, I don't know if you know this, but Steven Spielberg actually did the first Land Before Time movie.
No, that was Don Bluth, bud.
Well, Steven Spielberg's name's on the box.
Oh. Maybe
I think he was part of it. I don't know exactly what part of the film he did, but he did parts of the film.
Oh, okay.
And so the injured Apatosaur from Jurassic World kind of was like, hey, look, it's Littlefoot's mom again.
Either that or it's his grandpa or his grandma.
One of them.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was Littlefoot.
Oh no.
Okay, so
So Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Stinkdom. I got him.
Or as Jeff Goldblum once said, that's one big pile of crap.
Yeah, it's one big pile, isn't it?
However, we did get more lore information on just Jurassic World itself.
Yeah.
Not counting the rest of the film.
What did you think of the movie itself, though? Bad, good, like, dislike?
Probably just a 5. It was mediocre.
I'd say a 4. I think it's worse than mediocre.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because there's parts of it that was like made no sense.
There are parts that are just downright stupid, and there are parts that are just stupid as a movie in general. So the plot for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it basically goes like, they go back to the island, or they go back
before it erupts.
Right, they go back. They try to
get
save all the animals, but the animals aren't being saved. They're being sent down to the Lockwood Manor basement, so the mustache twirling guy, Monopoly men, can sell them and buy them and make more money. And then they all break loose, and all the bad guys get their comeuppance. And then the Indoraptor chases Chris Pratt, and then Chris Pratt and Blue beat up the Indoraptor, and it dies.
Actually, Claire's the one that kind of starts the final blow.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's
that and Blue.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. It's
team up power.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It was a terrible movie. We get introduced to Clone Girl in it, and I hate her. And
I don't really hate her. I just wish she was written better.
It's just bad. And I say it's like a 4 out of 10 for me. It's a stinker. The movie itself, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It goes for this weird like horror aspect with the Indoraptor.
The original Jurassic Park series
I
had
know,
horror
it was
aspects.
supposed to be a horror movie, but it didn't.
This one kind of went more heavy
it
with
was
the horror.
Basically just Alien.
How
yeah.
So?
No,
how so?
Like with the whole scene of being chased around the manor, except the manor is the spaceship, and then it's got the weird gangly hands that it brings into the frame. It's literally just Alien.
Yeah, they did those shots too.
Yeah, it's Alien, but worse and with dinosaurs. And another thing about Fallen Kingdom, they don't focus on the dinosaurs either, do they?
In the first part.
Yeah, in the first part they really focus on the dinosaurs.
Kind of just shifts to only the hybrid story.
Right, then it just shifts straight to the Indoraptor, and it's just, it's a stinker.
To be honest, if the movie was more like The Lost World, where it's them going to try to save the animals and then crap happens.
Yeah.
It probably would have been fine.
It would have been a lot better. I would have enjoyed a story like that.
With The Lost World, when the movie came out, they had a lot of criticism because of the whole San Diego scene.
Yeah.
And it literally, with Fallen Kingdom, they said, hey, you know how that short scene? Let's make that the rest of the movie.
Make it the entire rest of the movie? You mean the rest of the trilogy?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, just in Fallen Kingdom, it basically took the Indoraptor scene and extended it. Basically the San Diego scene.
Right. Except not nearly as cool. The San Diego scene is a lot cooler than the Indoraptor scene.
This is true.
A lot cooler.
San Diego scene was a lot... Even though it had critics when it first came out, I still liked it.
It was cool as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, it was like, wow.
See, and that's something about this movie. It's not cool as a kid. It's just scary. Fallen Kingdom is literally just too scary for kids.
I don't think they're scary. It's just more... It's definitely more of a horror aspect, but it's kind of like a really bad horror film.
It is just a bad horror movie. It's a bad adventure movie. It's a bad action movie.
It's one of those things where it's like, you kind of... If you've seen any horror movie ever, like you said with Aliens, you kind of already know the tropes that they're going to go with.
Also, it's got the worst scene in the whole trilogy when Chris Pratt is rolling away from lava. And it's like an inch from his face, and he's just like, "Wow, that's kind of
that worming dance."
Yeah, the worm dance where he's like flopping over logs. And
to be honest, I thought you were going to call out another scene.
Which one?
When he
the baryonyx?
No, when he gets engulfed in the.
In the ash.
The ash.
Oh
cloud,
yeah, no, he should have been
out
dead
like
there too. But
him and a bunch of dinosaurs just kind of walk out nothing happened.
We already know that Chris Pratt is from this new movie. We know he's superhuman. Maybe he's a hybrid. Maybe that's how he was.
The perfect man.
He's literally the perfect man. So now we get to the real stinker.
Bugs, man, bugs.
Bugs, man. Locusts, dude. Let me tell you. You ever heard about locusts? That shit is scary. You ever seen one up close? Scary as shit. I imagine this is how the board meeting went for Dominion. They're just sitting around. They're like, okay, how do we make an interesting story about dinosaurs on the mainland? And some guy comes in. He's like, guys,
have you ever seen locusts?
Freaky as shit happened this morning. I was trying to get in my car, and there was a bug on my car, and it was scary. And I think it was a locust. You ever seen one of those? And they're just all sitting there like, what? What is he going on about? And the guy's just
really funny part?
It's a locust.
You know the really funny part?
Brilliant, Johnson.
There's with the prelogue that came out with this movie, there's a few second clip of a locust landing on a Jornatus' leg.
Yeah.
And then it shows like the big fight of the prehistoric Rexy
the Cretaceous Rex and the
Giga. And you're like, okay, so that's the origin of Rexy. No questions asked. But no, you should have been focused on the damn locust in the beginning of the shot.
Yeah, they should have just focused on the locust. You know,
because that's apparently the plot of the film.
Focus on the locust. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. So, and you know that makes sense too. In Battle of Big Rock, why even have the dinosaurs fight, and why even have them chase the people? Why not just have the locusts? Just make a
giant swarm of locusts come out.
It's just a swarm of locusts from behind the screen, just from the drive-in.
It'd be funny if they had like the scene with like the dinosaurs fighting, and then they just stop and there's a swarm of locusts and they all just start running away. Run away!
Oh my god. It's just so bad. This one's such a big stinker. I like the fact that they got the original cast back, but you know, I was talking to one of my coworkers about it. There was literally no reason for the original cast to be there.
Yeah, I
other
agree.
than just trailer bait. There was no reason.
It was basically just to sell tickets.
Yeah, they didn't need to have the original cast there. They did nothing.
You know the funny part?
Except find the locusts.
No, both storylines that they try to intertwine. Really, if one event like if Maisie never went across the bridge, that entire side plot will never have happened.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of the movie, of the story.
So it's like you would have had Alan and Ellie go to Biosyn Valley. That still would have happened.
Yeah.
But the whole, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard kind of just screwing everything up, because they kind of screwed everything up since they left their house.
No, they saved everything, idiot, from the locusts.
No, they screwed up.
Yeah, they did. I am just...
Alan and Ellie are the one that, actually did something.
Yeah, and I guess Dr. Wu, technically.
I mean, he figured out how to re-engineer it, but it was like, couldn't he just figure that out after a couple more, days of thinking about it?
Right. It's
like, dude, just go on like a little vacation, just clear your mind, and then come back to it.
It's such a stinky movie. It's so stinky. They take the coolest premise of basically any movie in existence, other than maybe Godzilla, right? Because that's a really cool premise too. But they take the idea of dinosaurs living among people in the modern world, and they do nothing with it.
Yeah, I know.
That's what gets me about this movie.
Okay, we kind of skipped over it, but what was your favorite animal from Fallen Kingdom?
The locust.
Fallen Kingdom.
I'm sorry.
Wrong movie, Carl.
And it's still the locusts. I love the locusts.
They weren't even there.
I know.
Or were they in the background the whole time?
Yeah, they were there the whole time. Don't you know? Oh my god! I guess my favorite one from Fallen Kingdom was the Carnotaurus.
Carnotaurus is very strong.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to go with the Stygimoloch.
Fair enough.
Because it was pretty much good the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, it had that weird scene where it went through a brick wall.
Yeah, where it punched through like solid steel.
No, the brick wall.
Was it brick?
Yeah, brick and mortar.
Oh my god.
Which is like, why?
I mean, don't you know it lines up perfectly for ramming? It was the guy's name from The Lost World, and he's like, the spine aligns perfectly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doesn't count for a brick wall.
No,
though.
it sure doesn't, does it?
Did you have any favorite animals from this new movie other than the freaking locust, Carl?
I can't make that joke, damn it.
What joke?
I was gonna say the pilot.
Wow. Okay.
I like the pilot. Her character was very interesting.
That's not what I was going with. But thank you for sharing that, I guess.
Okay, no, I guess my favorite animal from this movie.
I'm trying to throw some positivity in this. Otherwise,
I have no positivity for it. I really can't.
I got that, but I'm just saying, is there any animals that you saw on screen?
Don't know. I just honestly I was too angry to pay attention. Maybe the Quetzalcoatlus. Definitely the Quetzalcoatlus. Even though they use it as like a flying monster dragon, but it still looks good.
You know, my question is, it shows one in the biosyn like shot in the valley, but then it shows two in like nesting in New York, and then there's three later in the film that fly off on like a farm in England.
Yeah, with all the ducks.
Who exactly cloned them, and where did they come from?
Life finds a way. Idiot.
No, I'm serious.
I know you're serious.
Where did they come from? Because if they were owned by biosyn, they should be, kept in the valley with the air deterrent.
Well, no, because
they didn't.
The ADS went offline after the whole thing blew up, right?
When the power rebooted, I think it.
Yeah, when the power rebooted, they got the ADS back up, but then after they left, like, what was there to keep the power on? Nothing. So I'm assuming that, after they left, then the power went down and the ADS went offline, so they just flew out. That's what I'm assuming, and that's being very generous with the movie. Otherwise,
I was very curious.
Otherwise, it comes down to literally just life finds a way. Shut up, stop thinking, idiot. Watch the movie, give me money. I hate that movie.
I like the Jornadas.
Yeah, even though we didn't pretty good.
See it as much as I thought we were going to.
Even though it was in a lake.
No, I'm talking about the one that's actually standing inside a biosyn, which I don't know how that thing got in the door. How did that thing get in the door?
A very big door.
I guess.
It's a garage door, Josh. It's a big door. So
yeah, it's like, our safety systems put all the animals inside the building. Great. How does that get in?
How do they get back out? Is it going to be like the thing where, like the Three Stooges try to go through one door and they all just get trapped?
Or just one big Jornadas gets stuck in the door.
Or just, one big Jornadas gets stuck in the door and now
they all have to push.
And they all just burn to death because, the whole valley is on fire. I almost called it an island again. Caught myself. So now we're going to talk about how we feel about Jurassic World, the trilogy. So Jurassic World 2015, Fallen Kingdom, and then Dominion. How do you think it stacks up as a trilogy? Do you think the story is nicely done? Do you think it's like a good, nice linear story all the way through? Or what are your opinions?
Like I said, it had a strong base with Jurassic World 2015. The first part of Fallen Kingdom was good, where it's like, okay, we're going back to the island, you're gonna just be a rescue op, kind of like the wrangling scene from The Lost World. Once they get back to the mainland, that's where I feel that the story really takes a hit, which is, even up that first part of Fallen Kingdom, it was very weak.
Yeah.
But it was still like, okay, you're catching my interest because we're going to see new animals. We're seeing them on the island, which, yet again, here we go, back to Isla Nublar.
Back to Isla Nublar.
But yeah, once the whole scene where they're on back to the mainland with the animals, I feel that's kind of where it gets really, really bad.
Yeah,
especially, I agree. Well, actually, it's kind of in the scene where the eruption happens. Because that's where you're like, he's trying to sell the animals, not save them. Right. It's like, okay.
Wow, who would have guessed?
Yeah.
So,
he literally introduces himself as the guy who is in charge of the money. It's like, yeah, you're the bad guy.
So, but as a trilogy, do you think it works well? Do you think it works not so well?
No, I don't think it works well at all.
Okay, so why? What do you think the stories just don't mesh well together? Do you think it's a bit...
I don't think they mesh well. I don't think it flows very well. And like I said, once you get to a certain point from Fallen Kingdom onward, the story just goes downhill and is not very interesting in... it's not very interesting.
Yeah.
However, I will say this: I rather watch these 3 films than Disney's Star Wars trilogy.
Oh yeah, me too. And I was actually going to draw a comparison between this and even the prequels too, because the prequels, there's a bit of a time jump with these movies, and the prequels do big time jumps, and that's something that a lot of people don't like about the prequels, is that they do those giant time jumps. You
go from Anakin being 10
as
to
a boy,
like 18, and then like in some early 20s,
late 20s, and so that's why a lot of people don't like the prequels, because they have those big jumps. And I think this movie kind of suffers from that, or this trilogy suffers from that same problem, where they've got all these big jumps. The one thing I can
say is, with the Star Wars prequels, there's books and other stuff to kind of, if you didn't read them, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle. But there was still information in between those films. So but if you actually read them, you actually knew what was going on.
But for a good trilogy, I don't think you should be required to read the assigned homework. And I don't think
Which is why I think Lord of the Rings is such a great trilogy.
Yeah. And
that's why I think, because all 3 films kind of go back to back to back to back.
It's all within a short amount of time, and that's what I think these movies kind of drop the ball on, is they give us too much time between them. Not in real time, but in the lore time.
Well, even in
to fill in
real
the gaps.
time, because that's the way the films were written. Is supposed to be
in real time.
Whatever year the movie comes out is that event.
But they force us to fill in the gaps, and they catch up with the characters like a little bit too late, and everything's changed. It's not if you were to sit down and watch it all as a one movie, you wouldn't think it was a trilogy. You would just think it was 3 movies that were vaguely related. You wouldn't think that this is the same series of movies, because Jurassic World kind of wraps itself up pretty nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's basically just leave the animals, because I don't know, because there's a lot of questions left in Jurassic World. Like, well, Masrani's dead.
Right.
What will the company do next? Are they just going to leave the animals? Or are they going to go back and go, okay, let's put the animals back in enclosures, clean up, and try this again?
Right.
But
other than that, I feel like
as the actual movie itself, it kind of wraps up pretty well.
Yeah, it wraps itself
Rexy
up
reclaiming the island as her kingdom.
Dominion. Anyway, back to your regular scheduled programming. I think that it just, like I said, there's too big of a time gap that it just doesn't work. You have these 3 movies that don't even work that well as 3 independent movies, and now you're trying to weave them all together, and there's nothing there to hold the story together except for like Maisie between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. And from Jurassic World into Fallen Kingdom, there's basically nothing there except for the main characters.
We don't even know how Claire started the whole Dino Protection Group or anything.
Right, and see, it would have been nice to at least have like the boys from the original movie, like they did with with Tim and Lex in the Lost World. Because they bring in Tim and Lex at the start of the Lost World when Jeff Goldblum is going to see Dr. Hammond.
Yeah.
And he is like, kids, you're so big, and then they just kind of leave. But at least it connects that movie in with the previous movie via those characters.
Well, not only that, it also is referencing the whole debate after Ian Malcolm comes back from Isla Nublar. It's like, we were in legal battle between him and InGen.
Yeah.
About discussing what happened on the island.
Yeah.
So there's still that, tie-in.
There's still a tie-in. There's no tie-in between Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, except for the main characters having to go back to the island. But there was still a tie-in, at least at the end of the first Jurassic Park, going into the second Jurassic Park.
Yeah, because it took what was established in the first film and added to it in the lore.
Right.
This one just kind of loosely does that.
Very loosely does that, and I think it's even worse in Dominion. Actually, I think it's a little bit better between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, because we still have Maisie, we still have Blue, we see that all the characters are a little bit older, except for Chris Pratt, who doesn't age apparently.
I don't know. Bryce Dallas Howard still looks pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't really age either, but
Which, there's a thing I wanted to ask you about. Do you remember when Dr. Sattler and Dr. Grant go into the Locust chamber? Mm-hmm. And when the Locusts get pissed off, they start attacking them, and and it shows them eating through the clothes, right?
Yeah.
Well, later in the film, when Bryce Dallas Howard and Laura Dern are in the power room, in the locusts start, attacking. Did you notice they didn't show any evidence of clothes damage?
I mean, of course they wouldn't, right? Because they're trying to keep that rating low.
Yeah, I got that, but still, consistency.
Yeah, I guess consistency.
I mean, she was wearing an outer shirt. You could have showed a hole or something.
Yeah, like a hole or something where they bit through it.
I'm just saying there's some
inconsistencies.
Yeah.
So I think it works better as almost a sequel to, like, Fallen Kingdom. If it was just Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, it would work better than Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion, because, like I said, there's no real connection between Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World. But then between Dominion and Fallen Kingdom,
you have Maisie's story.
Right? It's a continuation of her story and of them, still trying to get her back, because of course, Claire and Owen just kind of took her.
I mean, to be honest, they were the only ones there, so...
Right, so, like, what is she going to do? She can't go back to the evil bad guy who just
died.
Yeah, one, he died, and two, he didn't really care about her, and he killed her grandpa. Well, her...
Yeah, grandpa.
Surrogate, weird...
No,
yeah, no,
grandpa.
it would be her grandpa, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So... That's some of the reasons why I don't think it works as a trilogy. One, because the stories just aren't very well tied in, and there's not a lot of carryover from movie to movie. It's kind of like how Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park 2 aren't very well connected.
Jurassic Park 3 was pretty much a standalone film.
Yeah, and that's...
It just had branding, and it's like, why did we throw Alan Grant into this?
Right, because they needed a big name character from the first movie to draw people into the theater, which is what they did with Dominion.
Pretty much.
So... give me some reasons why you think it doesn't stack up as a trilogy.
I think we pretty much covered that fact in our little rant there.
What about the inconsistency with the story and how it doesn't tie in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Is there any positives that you want to say about the trilogy?
I think... Oh, a positive?
Yes.
I'm glad it's over. You okay?
Yeah, he took me by surprise on that one.
No, I think one of the positives is... I think a positive is that it's over. It's finally over. We don't have to deal with it anymore. I guess
until Hollywood decides to brush off.
Until they decide to reboot it again or do something with it. But I think that at least it's kept the public interest in dinosaurs alive. And we really saw this with this movie, because the theaters were busy. They were very busy. And
that weekend was like we had 5 or 6 theaters playing that movie,
right? And so
every one was almost a full house.
Yeah, so it was very big. So dinosaurs are very prevalent still in culture, which is always a good thing, because we want to always find more dino fans who are willing to learn and want to study this and want to get into paleontology and all that good stuff. So if there is a single positive, I believe that it is keeping people's interest in dinosaurs alive.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
What's a positive for you?
One positive is with these last 3 films, we got so many new species.
That's a good positive.
That the original 3 trilogy kind of just reused dinosaurs.
Right.
The T-Rex was, we got a different variant with the male, the female, and a juvenile, and 2 juveniles, or a subadult and a juvenile. We got, 3 different types of Parasaurolophus. We had the Velociraptors got reskinned every fucking movie. Every movie they got reskinned. Movie. I'm like, a little consistency, people. And then we got Triceratops and a few others.
Stegosaurus.
They were only the last 2.
Oh, that's right.
They were in the first one.
That's right.
But we got to see more species than ever before with the Jurassic World trilogy.
Right.
There's a few that we kind of didn't see from the last ones, mostly from the Spinosaurus. We didn't get to see again.
Well, yeah, I didn't think they were going to. Yeah, we did. There was a skeleton.
That does not count.
Sure,
in the flesh.
Yeah, okay.
In the flesh.
Okay, in the flesh, no.
We didn't get to see the Corythosaurus, which I thought would be kind of cool to if that came back in like Jurassic World as just for like a background dinosaur.
Yeah, or did we didn't get to see the Ceratosaurus either, did we?
What's her? No, not until you get to Camp Cretaceous, but I don't really count that.
Yeah, no, not in the movies.
Yeah, we don't get to see Ceratosaurus. We don't get to see the
we finally got
sauropod from the Lost World. Again with an M from China.
Mapusaur. No, that's a
theropod.
carnivore.
Mamenchisaurus.
There you go.
Mamenchisaurus we didn't get to see, and we didn't get to see the Dilo until this last film.
Yeah, until this last film.
So, other than
and
those,
Chris Pratt gets to choke it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not commenting on that. But what I'm saying is, from Jurassic World 2015 up till Dominion, we got loads of new species.
Yeah.
And to be honest, since that first Jurassic World film to now, a lot of them got better.
Yeah, they've been updating the species.
And then you get baryonyx.
And the models, but yeah, then you get baryonyx and the Giga. Holy cannoli.
Now, I actually read an art thing that said the baryonyx was the original engine variant. It wasn't Masrani's variant.
Okay.
Which was actually supposed to be more scientifically correct.
Right.
So...
Still.
But since we never saw it, it don't count.
Right. It's still just... I don't know.
Well, sorry about the rant there, but...
No, it's okay.
No, because that was kind of off topic a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
but,
I think that is a good positive, actually. The fact that we did get to see a lot of new dinos. And we got to see some non-dinos, too. We got to see, as they were, the Dimetrodons.
Dimetrodon, Quetzalcoatlus.
That's right.
Mosasaurus.
Right.
Pteranodons, new variant.
Right.
Which actually is more... Other than the lack of pycnofibers, was more...
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
Especially for a female one.
Dimorphodon.
We don't talk about that one. Dimorphodon is that third child that you just don't talk about.
Yeah, that's the one that got dropped on his head as a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that is a good positive. Do you have any other ones?
I mean, I love some of the characters straight off the bat.
Yeah.
However, there are a few...
Yeah, we did get some good characters, didn't we?
There's a few characters, like I said, I wish were kind of rewritten. But I don't really, honestly hate any of the characters. I just wish some of them were written better, and we got to see, in a different light.
No, I hate Maisie.
Well, you can, but I honestly, I don't.
Well, I will.
Okay, you can hate her for the both of us, but I don't hate her. I honestly do not fully hate any of the characters.
Okay. I think I know who your favorite character is.
Well, if you watch one of our other videos, you can pretty much solve that one for yourself.
Yeah, you'd be able to tell, huh?
Yeah. But like I said, there's not any character I honestly full-heartedly dislike or hate.
I think a lot of the characters are written
Many of the characters are either written good or better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
With a few exceptions that, like I said, that could probably have done a little better.
I think the writing for Owen in this one was a little bit weird because they established that he's like not a great dad at the start because he doesn't know how to talk to Maisie, and then they never resolved that issue.
To be honest,
but it makes sense for his character.
Owen, had from the start like that cowboy attitude. You know, he does things his own way,
right?
And
but
it's just who he is.
I'm just saying, why would they even bother opening up that plot line if they're not going to resolve it?
I mean, it's the same plot line almost with him and Claire. Maybe there's supposed to be another film after this that kind of ties into their parents.
Or maybe it's supposed to be like parallel, right?
I guess.
That he actually does really care, but yeah.
He doesn't know how to show his affection.
He just doesn't know how to show it, yeah.
I guess
that makes sense.
Because if you remember in the first Jurassic World, it was kind of the same thing with him and Claire. They were both kind of... They're like, there's a connection,
and that was,
but it's kind of
that was like
awkward.
the whole reason they split up in the first place, right?
Yeah,
because he was kind of push-offy.
Well, she kind of threw herself into his work, and so did he, and they just kind of split.
Right.
But when, they got put together to save her nephews, they kind of formed or rekindled their relationship.
Got that weird, we almost died bond.
Yeah. I mean, even in Fallen Kingdom, they revisited that.
Yeah.
Because remember, Owen, when they're in the bar, and she's like, you kind of just did your own thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't kind of go with hers.
Yeah.
So
something I have to... So, yeah, I think we did get some really good characters out of this. And something I have to actually give Dominion props for, because I say give props where props are due. All the legacy characters that they brought back, they still felt like the old character.
Well, I'm pretty sure Jeff Goldblum is just that.
Yeah,
on
I'm pretty
a daily
sure
basis.
they just filmed Jeff Goldblum going about his daily shit, and that was just what they got. But like Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and even Dr. Wu, well, Dr. Wu not so much, but a little bit, still felt like the ones that we got in the original JP. They really did. Like Ellie Sattler and especially Alan Grant, because he was just kind of like, okay, here we go again.
And this time without a paycheck.
And this time with no paycheck and with big old bugs. So I think that the legacy characters they brought back for Dominion, they still felt like the legacy characters, which was nice.
Except for Dotson.
Yeah, Dotson did not feel like Dotson. That was strange.
Like I said
character.
before, he kind of gave off the Steve Jobs vibes.
Yeah, he was pretty rough.
But yeah, other than that, all the legacy characters were pretty much spot on.
Yeah, so I think that all the characters a few of the characters that we got in the newer movies have been really good. I also think that as a trilogy, I would say on the whole though, we got more weak characters, worse characters than the original.
Stronger ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
So,
like I said, we had some likes, we dislikes, and overall we think that the Jurassic World trilogy probably could have done better.
So if you had to give it a scale or a scale rating 1 to 10, all right, okay, let's say that the Jurassic World trilogy was a paper that somebody wrote and you had to grade the paper, what grade would you give it?
Do I have to grade it on the scale of each movie as a different essay,
as a
or
trilogy.
one big
trilogy, one big essay?
Oh, probably a D+.
Yeah, I was gonna say a D or a D+.
Because, like I said, the opening it's still weak, but it's the strongest out of the three.
They had a great thesis. The rest of the essay just fell apart. Yeah. I'd say a D or a D+. The premise was great, but the execution was terrible.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it felt like there's a lot of stuff left out that probably should have been left in.
Yeah, like, I don't know, dinosaurs on the mainland? I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that pretty much does it for us then.
So, this is Josh.
And this is Carl.
Signing off. Bye.